What's up, everybody? Econ with Dave, back again with Darth Pell. There is so much fucking fraud in the U.S. housing, I don't even know where to begin. And here is a Reddit post as well. Is it suspicious that a neighbor's house sold for almost twice market value and remains vacant over the last year? Sorry, this has always bothered me, and I figured realtors might know better than me. Last summer, a neighbor sold their house. He said it was an investment company and gave him a great offer on the house. According to Zillow's history information, it sold for $255,000, which last May is what the home in the neighborhoods are at and is at fair value. It quickly started getting renovated, but I'm not sure what extent. It sold 2 months later for $455,000, which is way over anything in this part of town. Would it need to be a bigger home or a newer home to be worth that? I'm not looking at the estimated value, but the actual seller history. The kicker is, no one has lived there since. Who buys a house almost twice market values and leaves it abandoned? No sale or rent sign, but there is almost no sign of life. Grass isn't regularly kept up. Outdoor lights remain on. No cars in the driveway. And weekly garbage doesn't go on the street. All right, I'm back. I needed to move away from that annoying sound. All right. The scenario described in the tweet is a classic example of potential real estate fraud and money laundering. A property was bought for $900,000 by an investment company, significantly higher than said market price, and was left vacant. This aligns with typical money laundering schemes and real estate fraud patterns described in everything that I put together. Now let's get more information. I really looked online to figure out how the hell does this happen. So what's happening? Inflated pricing, appraisal/mortgage fraud. Property prices are artificially inflated above market value to obtain larger mortgages or facilitate laundering schemes. The excess funds derived from the inflated pricing can easily be diverted or integrated into legitimate financial systems. According to FinCEN, fraudulent appraisals are common in money laundering throughout real estate. Appraisals or realtors might be complicit in inflating property values to facilitate fraudulent loans and or laundered funds. Now, money laundering tactics. So the money laundering through real estate typically happens in 3 stages: placement, layering, and integration. Real estate transactions serves as the integration method, allowing illicit funds to appear legitimate. Criminals use properties as a safe investment, often purchasing real estate with liquidity that was illegally, it's basically dirty money. They maintain regular payments and transactions to give the appearance of legitimacy, allowing them to reintroduce legal funds into the system discreetly. According to FinCEN's SAR assessment, structuring involves breaking large sums into smaller transactions to avoid detections, such as purchasing cashier's checks or structuring bank deposits below reporting thresholds, structuring transactions that can be related to real estate purchases, making them harder to detect by banks and regulatory agencies. Now, using the shell companies and or investment firms. Real estate scams often use versions of shell companies or investment firms that can conceal the true identity of the buyer or beneficial owners. Shell companies registered offshore or in certain states like Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming are common vehicles for money laundering schemes. Now, leaving the property vacant. Properties purchased via illicit funds often remain vacant as their primary purpose is not the habitation or traditional investment, but rather servicing as a financial vehicle. Leaving the property vacant also minimizes exposure to further scrutiny and or maintenance requirements. So here are some potential red flags for all of us to kind of keep in mind. Now, I don't think that we're going to run into this, but it's crazy that this happens at all. Number 1. If this scenario matches several notable red flags for real estate fraud or money laundering, they would be identified by the following things: property significantly overvalued relative to the neighborhood average, the use of investment companies or shell entities rather than individuals or families, on unexplained vacancies after purchase, suspicious structuring of financial transactions around the purchase, and the rapid transfer or refinancing patterns after the initial transaction. So what are some consequences? These fraudulent transactions lead to a distorted real estate market, artificially inflating prices, factoring organized crimes such as drug trafficking, human trafficking, and or corruption, and economic instability and unfair competition, pricing legitimate buyers completely out of the market. Now, at the end of the day, this is a government-related issue. The government needs to find a way to crack down on this, but we'll see what ends up happening. I don't know about any laws that are currently in place that are being talked about within Congress. Our useless group of congressmen, both left and right, you're both equally useless. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, this is kind of insane. I would love to see in the future more data and looking more into this of how many houses do we think are affected, how much of the supply, and what can we do in the futures with guardrails to ensure that regular people get access to housing who aren't interested in, you know, fucking laundering money through it. Because, you know, maybe I wouldn't be so butthurt if the people were to be in the homes. Now, how they get the process of buying the home and handling it is not my business. That's the bank. I'm not a bank, and I'm not the government. But this is insane. And I love to see more data on this in the future. And if you guys are interested in learning more about this just like I am, go ahead and drop a like right on down there. Thank you guys so much, and I'll be on to the next video.